श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत पादशंकरं लोकशंकरम् अपार करुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्।
राम राम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Kannan sir will explain in detail how much Perival has been guiding us in this series of lectures. So I start with a Vandanam to Perival on behalf of everybody here. It is always a challenge to introduce people like Kannan sir. Soundaryalahari, last sloka, we all know says, Pradhiba Julabir Divashakara Nirajana Vidhi. Kannan sir is anga potirukira Suryan. Now ஒரு சின்ன தீபம். நான் கண்ணன் சாருக்கு சூரியனுக்கு வெளிச்சம் காமிக்கிற மாதிரி காமிக்க முடியாது. So all I want to say is, on behalf of everybody, we feel blessed that we will be able to listen to him morning and evening for the next 50 days. So it's a blessing that Perival has given us, and therefore we are thankful to you. Mahaperival, I think in volume 6, talks extensively about Adi Shankara's Stotram. In Tamil, he summarizes it by saying, Arulal Peranda Kavidai, Arulai Seigera Kavi, Arule Kavidai. Divinity speaks, divinity bestowed, and divinity itself. The reason he says is, Adi Shankara is not an ordinary human being. He was an inspired person. He himself says, Tudiyabhir Vagbhir Tava Stuti Reyam. அம்பாளே, நான் சொல்ற வார்த்தைகள் எல்லாம் உன்னுடைய வார்த்தைகள். So the first thing is, it is divinity speaking. Second, Adi Shankara is not an ordinary composer. Tamil Mahaperival says, Anubhava Ananda Nilayil சொன்னதுன்னு. So when he was in Aikyam with Ambal, or whichever is the god, that is when he composed these. And therefore, for those of us who are privileged to listen, he says divinity is bestowed. Third, he actually says, in these words, we actually can see divinity itself. And that's why he says it is divinity speaking, divinity bestowed, and divinity itself. And he adds, there is a bonus. The bonus is actually Adi Shankara, who lived 2500 years back, lives in our presence through these stotras. So Mahaperival says, you have an opportunity to visualize Adi Shankara and experience his stotras. Puduparival Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal, he has also extensively at least reasonably understand the meaning of these stotras. It is in that context that we are privileged, that we have someone of the scholarship of Kannan sir explaining us the meaning, so that, as Perival says, Bhavadadartha mama manaha. This kind of a thing cannot happen without the seva of people like VDSP Rajagopalan and the other volunteers who deal with all the IT issues. So with my vandanam to Perival, and on behalf of all of you, namaskaram to Kannan sir, I say thank you very much.
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। London Sundar sir has given a beautiful introduction. We are starting today on a very auspicious day, Karthika Deepam day, the day on which Shiva stood as a Samba, a pillar of glorious light. Light means jnana. So, this is the day of exposition of jnana. So, we are lucky that we are starting this lecture series on all the Shankara Stotras, which are all jnana related, on this auspicious day. This day was chosen by Perival himself. This entire series has been devised by Perival. He himself has decided on the start date, the end date of Makara Sankranti day, the morning session at what time, evening session at what time, morning session in Tamil, evening session in English. All details have been given by Perival himself, have been blessed by Perival himself. Now, we prepared the list of stotras that also was approved by Perival. We had done a similar program in 2021 with KKSF as the coordinator. At that time, for 6 months, we had a course, January to July, 2 hours every week, and we covered 25 stotras of Adi Shankara at that time. Now, this time we have chosen stotras which do not coincide with those stotras. We have chosen new ones. And 2 large ones we have chosen this time, Shivanandalahari and Soundaryalahari, both 100 shlokas. And the title given to the series by Perival himself is Vande Gurormandalam. Gurormandalam normally means the Guru Parampara, immediate Guru Parampara, the Guru, Paramaguru, Paratpara Guru, Parameshti Guru. Now this is called Guru Mandalam. And in fact, we have Guru Panchakam in Vyasa Puja. Similarly, in Shaktam, they have a different definition of Guru Mandalam, and that not only includes these gurus, it also includes Ganapati, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Vatuka Bhairavas, the Matrika Devis, that is letters from A to Ksha, etc., etc. It's a huge Guru Mandalam. But what we are now concentrating on in this series of lectures is the Guru Mandalam of books. Guru has given us a Pustaka Mandalam. Adi Shankara Guru has blessed us with a Pustaka Mandalam. As we say in Saraswati Puja, Asmin Pustaka Mandale, Saraswati Dhyayami, Avahayami, etc. Pustaka Mandala is also there in reference. So, here we are interpreting Guror Mandalam as the Pustaka Mandalam blessed by Adi Shankara, and that includes different categories of books. There are three broad categories, as all of us know: the Bhashya categories, the Vedanta Prakarana Grantha categories, and the Stotra categories. Now, in the Stotra category also, we have every Stotra glorifying, centering itself on Advaita Jnana. Every Stotra. You will not find any Stotra of Adi Shankara which does not have some reference to Advaita Jnana. So that is the beauty of all these Stotras, and we are lucky that we have been given an opportunity to delve into these Stotras by Kareva. With his blessings, we start this series, and recently we concluded with his blessings the Moka Panchashati series, which went on for 1 year under the auspices of Kamakoti Bhakti Kendra. One lecture per week, and all the 500 shlokas were covered. That also was blessed by Pariva only. Now, in this lecture series, Shri London Sundar is the main coordinator appointed by Pariva himself. Pariva himself, he personally took the list of stotras to Pariva and got it approved. And he has been guiding the proceedings. Kala Malini is the main coordinator who has been assisting us with various groups of volunteers. There are volunteers who have been preparing slides. There are volunteers who are going to chant with us during the series, and there are coordinators who are coming up for every session to assist in the technicalities. Now, all these volunteers are being coordinated by Kala Malini, and every session we have a person who will chant the shlokas along with me. Now, morning we had Lata Ganesh, now we have Sri Lakshmi. And Rajagopal of Veda Dharma Shastra Paripalana Sabha, who is known to everyone as an extremely active volunteer of Sri Matham. He has been driving, he is the driving force for all telecasts of Sri Matham. Wherever you find a telecast of Sri Matham, that means Rajagopal is the one who is doing it. So he has been very kindly guiding all these volunteers, Kalamalini and her team, on the nuances of StreamYard and everything else connected with conduct of this show. And the procedure we have adopted for the explanation series is that the person who chants the shloka, today Sri Lakshmi, she will chant the shloka and I will follow it up with explanation, detailed explanation, and I will also chant the shloka once, and then we go to the next shloka in the same order. And those who have any questions can type the questions in YouTube or in StreamYard in the comments section, and our coordinator will read out those questions and I will try to answer them at the close of this session. So I think we'll start now without further expenditure of time. We start with Ganesha Pancharatnam. Sorry, Ganesha Bhujangam. Bhujangam is a meter, Bhujanga Prayatam. That is the meter, one of the very popular meters, chandas in Sanskrit poetry. And Adi Shankara himself has authored not only Ganesha Bhujangam, he has authored Shiva Bhujangam, Devi Bhujangam, Subramanya Bhujangam, etc. etc. Bhujangam has got a very beautiful, majestic style of presentation and very sweet, very interesting. We will enjoy that. Sri Lakshmi, you can start now.
Periyava Sharanam. Shri Ganesha Bhujangastotram Ranakshudra Ghanta Ninadabhiramam Chalattandavodandavat Padmatalam Lasattundilango Parivyalaharam Ganadhishamishanasunum Tamide.
Now, this is a picture of Nritya Ganapati, dancing Ganapati. Ganapati is dancing, and that is picturized in this shloka. Now, he is having small bells tied around his body in various places, around his waist, around the neck, and so on. Now those small bells, which are called here Kshudra Ghanta, Ranate Kshudra Ghanta. Kshudra Ghanta means small bell. Those small bells are making beautiful sounds. Ninada, Ranate means sounding. The Ninada is the sound coming from the Kshudra Ghanta. Abhiramam, that means Ganapati is so enchanting. Abhirama means enchanting. You cannot take your eye off him. That kind of beauty, that kind of enchantment. So, he is enchanting with not only his form, but also with the beautiful accompanying sounds coming from those small bells. Then, the Tandava is described in the next line. Chalat Tandava Uddandavat Padmatalam. Uddandavat means like a raised staff, danda, like a raised staff. That means he is standing straight in the dance posture and he is tapping his feet and he is also shaking his ears, which are not possible for ordinary human beings. Now he has got a special pair of ears, Shurpakarna, that is why he is known as. Those two Shurpa type ears, he is shaking during the dance to the Tala. Now this shaking of ears, shaking of the tapping of the feet, etc., are all known as Padmatalam. Chalat, it is the mobile situation, moving situation, Tandava, beautiful Tandava. He is moving here and there. Lasatundi longo pari vyalaharam. Vyalaharam means garland of snakes. Vyala means snakes. He is having a mala of snakes tied around his waist on his large belly. Tundila means large belly. Tundila anga, the large belly part, upari, on the top of the large belly part, he is having a vyalahara, a snake garland, which is shining. Snakes themselves shine, and added to the shine of Ganapati, they are shining even more. Lasat. Ganadhisham Ishana Sunum Tam Ide. Ganadhisha means the Lord of Ganas. Shiva has got Rudra Ganas, Pramatha Ganas, and so many other Ganas. Even Preta, Pishacha are his Ganas. Now, Ganesha is the head of all the Ganas. That's why he is known as Gana Isha, Ganapati, Gana Adhisha here, Ganadhisham. Ishana Sonam, the son of Parameshwara, Tam Ide, I praise him. So, here we have a picture of Nritya Ganapati, who is very enchanting, not only because of his form, but also because of the sounds emanating from those small bells, which are sounding all the time during the dance, and because of the Padmatala, majestically he is standing and dancing Tandava dance, and he is tapping his feet and his shaking his surpa ears at the beauty. And he has a beautiful snake garland tied around his large belly, which is shining. And that kind of Ganapati, Shivaputra, I praise. Pranakshudra ghanta ninadabhiramam chalattandavodandavat padmatalam rasattundirango parivyalaharam ganadhishameshana sonam tamide. Next.
ध्वनिध्वंसवीणालयोल्लासिवक्त्रं स्फुरच्छुण्डदण्डोल्लसद्बीजपूरं गलद्दर्पसौगन्ध्यलोलालिमालं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
Now, further description of Ganapati's form. Ullasi Vaktram. Vaktram means face, Mukham. Vaktram means Mukham, face. Ullasi means sporting, playful. Very happy, very playful face he is having. And he is normally having a playful face. Now there is a special reason also here for his being having a playful face, and that is Dhvani Dhvamsa Veena Laya. his mind is merged. Laya means merging of the mind with the sound emanating from the veena. Dhvani, dvamsa, veena. Sounds emanating from the veena, which are so sweet, so musical. His mind is merged with that, and his face is so playful and so happy. Spurachunda danda ullasat bijapuram. Bijapuram is pomegranate fruit. It is having only bija inside, only seeds. That is why it is called bijapuram, that fruit. A favorite of Ganapati. Ullasatu means even the pomegranate fruit which he is holding in his shunda danda. Shunda means the trunk. It is like a staff, like a danda. That staff-like trunk, he is holding this pomegranate, which is lasat, which is shining. How can pomegranate shine? Pomegranate shine because of Ganapati's shine. Spuratu means shining. Spuratu means shining as well as moving. Here we can take the meaning of moving because the trunk is moving here and there. Along with that, the Bijapura is also moving and it is shining. Galaddarpa Saugandhya Lola Limalam. Galat Darpa. Darpa is the ichor. When the elephant is in rut, it sheds some juice from the temple. That is called Darpa, ichor. That intoxicating juice, which is Galatu, which is oozing out from his mastaka. Saugandhya, it has beautiful sweet scent. And because of the sweet scent, Lola Alimalam, Ali means bees. These bees are like a mala, like a string of bees is sitting on his face. Lola means greedy, desirous of this sweet scent which is emanating from the juice which is coming out of his temple. Ganadhi Shamishana Sonam Tamide. I praise the Ganapati Shivaputra. So he has, in this picturization, he is having a beautiful, playful face. His mind is merged in the sweet sounds coming from the veena, and his long trunk is shaking during his movement here and there, and it is having a shining Bijapura pomegranate fruit, and there is a string of bees sitting on his face, which are stuck to his face because of the attraction of the sweet scent of the ichor, the juice coming from the temple of the elephant. And I praise that Ganapati Shivaputra. Dhanidhvam Savena Layolla Sivatram Purachanda Dandol Lasadbijapuram Galaddarpa Saugandhya Lola Limalam Ganadhi Shamishana Sonum Tamide. Next.
प्रकाशजपारक्तरत्नप्रसूनप्रभातारुणज्योतिरेकम् प्रलम्बोदरं वक्रतुण्डैकदन्तं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
Further description of the form of Ganapati. Now, the first two lines are talking about the reddish glow which is there on his form, the red colored glow which is on his form. Now, that glow is described by comparing it with so many other similar reddish colored radiances. Now, Prakasha, the shine of Japa. Japa is the flower, China rose, Shambariti in Tamil, Japa flower. Japa Rakta Ratna Prasuna. Prasuna is the flower. Japa goes with Prasuna, Japa flower. And then Rakta Ratna Pravala. Pravala is coral. And it is red colored. Rakta means red colored, blood colored. Ratna, it is a gem. So that kind of Pravala has got two meanings. That kind of coral, also shoot, the tender shoot of the creeper is also called Pravala. Now, that is also reddish in color. Then, Prabhata Aruna Jyotihi Ekam. Prabhata means morning. As soon as at the time of dawn, as soon as the sun is rising, at that time you have the Aruna Jyoti, the radiance from Aruna, the rising sun. Ekam, that is unique. Just as Aruna Jyoti is unique, you cannot compare Aruna Jyoti with something else. Can you compare the rising sun radiance with any other radiance on earth? No. So similarly, Ganapati's radiance is unique. You cannot compare with even Aruna Jyoti or even the japa flower or even the tender shoot of the creeper or even the coral stone. They are all only comparisons to tell us about the beauty, the glory of the red colored shine which Ganapati is having. Pralambodaram vakratundai kadantam. Pralamba udaram. Lambodaram is good enough. He is adding pra. Of course, there is a meter in the shloka. Pra means prakarshena, that is special. You cannot have this kind of Lambodara anywhere else. That is special, very special. Lambodara means long, big, hanging belly. It's a big hanging belly because all the universes are contained in his belly. Vakratunda means bent, curved trunk. Now, that curved trunk gives an appearance of Omkara, Omkara Swarupa. That is why you describe Ganapati's form as Omkara Swarupa. That Vakratunda is the major component of this Omkara Swarupa. Also, Vidwans have interpreted Vakratunda to mean Vakran Tundayati iti Vakratundaha. That means he decimates. Tundayati means he decimates. He kills those who are not following dharma. Vakra means one who is not following dharma, one who is crooked. Actually, direct meaning is crooked, Vakra. Ekadantam, single tusk. Normally, elephant has two tusks, but here we have single tusk because one tusk he removed during the battle with Gajamukhasura for killing that Asura. Because he could not be killed by any other weapon, he used his danta as the weapon and killed him. Another use to which he put his danta was when he wrote Mahabharata as dictated by Vedavyasa. Though there is an interesting story behind this. Vedavyasa, when he was composing Mahabharata, he wanted somebody to write down as he dictated. And that shorthand writer was Mahaganapati himself. So at that time, he imposed the condition on Ganapati that whatever I dictate, you should write in the same speed. You should not be sluggish. You should go on writing as I go on speaking. Now, Ganapati put a counter condition. He said, I will do that. No, not only that. Vyasa also put a condition that he should understand and write. Ganapati should understand clearly the meaning and then only write. So, Ganapati put a counter condition. You should go on dictating without stopping. It should be a continuous flow. Then only, if you stop, I will go away. So, what Vyasa did was, after 10 or 20 slokas, he used to compose a very difficult verse so that Ganapati will take some time in understanding. Without understanding, he cannot write. So, during that time lag, he used to compose the next 10 or 20 slokas in his mind. So, this is how he used to buy time. Now, if you see Mahabharata, this kind of structure you will find in the shlokas. So this is a very beautiful instance. But the lesson is not this. Lesson is yaga. Now, danta, which is the most attractive part of the elephant, now Ganapati was willing to sacrifice for the good of the world. So that is the lesson. Unless you are prepared to sacrifice, you cannot advance in spiritual life. Yaga is the stepping stone for advancement in spiritual life. Yagenaiki amrtatva manashuhu na karmana na prajaya dhanena. This is what Veda says. You cannot advance by mere karma. You cannot advance by your progeny. You cannot advance by your wealth. Only because of yaga, sacrifice, you can advance in spiritual life. That too, very few people, Tyagena Eke, very few people can attain moksha by Tyaga. So that kind of Tyaga is illustrated by Ganapati in this Ekadanta form. Now, even the other famous celebrated poem of Adi Shankara, Ganesha Pancharatnam, ends like this. Tam ekadantam ekameva chintayami santatam. Tam ekadantam ekameva chintayami santatam. That is how it ends. So there also, he ends with ekadanta because of the emphasis on Tyaga. Otherwise, he could have ended with so many other names of Mahaganapati. But he chose Ekadanta because of the emphasis on Tyaga. So that kind of Ganapati, that Shivaputra, I praise, whose reddish colored glow is comparable to the red colored glow of the rising sun, or the red colored glow of a growing tender shoot of a plant, or the japa flower, which is very red colored. They are all red colored, and Ganapati's Jyoti is comparable to those. And he is having a hanging large belly, and his trunk is curved, crooked, and he has got a single tusk. That kind of Ganapati, that Shivaputra, I praise. प्रकाशज्जपारक्तरत्नप्रसून प्रबालप्रभातारुणज्योतिरेकं प्रलम्बोदरं वक्रतुण्डैकदन्तं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
विचित्रस्फुरद्रत्नमाला किरीटं किरीटोल्लसच्चन्द्ररेखाविभूषं विभूषैकभूषं भवध्वंसहेतुं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
In the third line, there is a typing mistake in the slide. Vibhushaika Bhusham, not Bhusham. Now, here also, his form, Ganapati's form, is further described. The beauty of his form is further described. Now, all these descriptions of the forms are meant to instill bhakti in us, because during meditation, during dhyana, you need a nama and a rupa. Without nama rupa, you cannot do any dhyana. At least ordinary people cannot do dhyana. Ordinary people cannot do dhyana on Nirakara Swarupa, only glow, only light, without any form, without any name. All this is easy to talk, but not easy to practice. For practicing dhyana, you need a form and a name. Now that is why this form, that is why you find always there is a dhyana shloka for every stotra. In the dhyana shloka, the form of the devata is fully described so that you keep that form in mind while you read the stotra. So that gives you the attention, the concentration. So that form is further described here. Vichitra Sphurat Ratnamala Kiritam. His Kiritam, the crown on his head, is being described as having a Ratnamala, a garland of a golden garland in which gems are embedded. Gem-studded garland, Navaratna gem-studded garland, he is having on the crown. Spurati, it is shining, not just shining, Vichitra Spurati. It is shining with different colors because it has Navaratnas embedded in the crown. They are all throwing radiances of different colors in different directions, and that is Vichitra, beautiful. Kirita Ullasat Chandra Rekha Vibhusham. On the top of the crown, Ullasat, that means it can be interpreted as very happy, very pleasing. Chandra Rekha Vibhusham, ornament of crescent moon. Chandra Rekha is crescent moon. So that crescent moon is also shining. Ullasat can be interpreted as shining. Rasat means shining. Ullasat means very much shining. Very much shining crescent moon is there as an ornament on the top of the crown. Vibhusha Ekabhusham. That means all ornaments are generally owned by people as beauty enhancements. But here, the ornaments are not enhancing the beauty of Ganapati. Ganapati is lending his beauty to the ornaments. Ornaments are beautiful because they are on the form of Ganapati. It is not that Ganapati is beautiful because of the ornament. So he is the Ekabhusha. He is the single ornament for all the ornaments. Vibhusha Ekabhusham. He is the single ornament behind the glow of all the ornaments. Bhavadvamsa Hetum. Hetu means the cause for destruction of samsara. Bhava means samsara. Bhava is actually, it means birth, being born. Now, birth always is followed by death. So, the cycle of birth and death is called samsara, to which we keep returning because of our karma. Now, unless the karma cycle is broken, all karmas are extinguished, you cannot get out of this cycle. Now, that extinguishing, who will do? Ganapati will do if you worship him. So, he is the cause of the destruction of the cycle of samsara. So, without his help, it is not possible for us to get out of this dangerous, most difficult cycle of samsara. And also in this shloka, we have a reference to Chandra Rekha, the crescent moon. Chandrama manaso jataha, so says Veda. Chandra is the devata for the mind. There is a devata for each important organ in the body of the human being. Now, for the mind, the devata is Chandra. So, if you concentrate your attention on the Chandra Rekha, which is adorning his crown, Ganapati's crown, your mind also will become purer and purer, and that will help Ganapati in destroying your karma and taking on to ahead on the moksha path. So this is all connected because manameva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. That's what Upanishad says. Manayeva manushyanam karanam. It is only the mind which is the reason, which is the cause for getting bound to the samsara or getting released from this samsara. Bandha mokshayoho. So that mind is controlled by Chandra, and if you concentrate on the Chandra, which is on the head of Ganapati, he is going to help you break this chain. And that Ganapati, that Shivaputra, I praise. Now his crown has got a beautiful gem-studded, Navaratna studded mala on the crown, which is shedding beautiful, different colored radiances. And on the top of the crown, he is having the crescent moon, which is shining like a big, beautiful ornament. And in fact, Ganapati is the ornament behind all the ornaments. He is the one who is lending his shine to those all the ornaments, and he is the only cause for the destruction of the samsara cycle. I pray to that Shivaputra, that Ganapati. विचित्रस्फुरद्रत्नमाला किरीटं किरीटोल्लसच्चन्द्ररेखाविभूषं विभूषैकभूषं भवध्वंसहेतुं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
उदञ्चद्भुजावल्लरी दृश्यमूलोच्चलद्भ्रूलता विभ्रमभ्राजदक्षम् मरुत्सुन्दरी चामरैः सेव्यमानं गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
Further description of the form of Ganapati. Udanchat bhuja vallari drishya moola. Bhuja vallari. Bhuja is the arm. the long arm which Ganapati is having, that he has raised his arm. Udanchatu means a raised arm, not hanging down. The raised arm, which is like a vallari, which is like a creeper, like a lata, like a creeper. Drishya, it is so beautiful to look at. Drishya is a beautiful scene. Now, that vallari, that creeper, is going and joining Moola. It has at its base the face. On the face, Chalat Bhrulata Vibhrama Bhraja Daksham. Bhru is also equated to Lata. Bhru is the brow, eyebrow. The eyebrow is also similar to a creeper. It is always likened to a creeper by poets. So Chalat means this eyebrow is constantly moving here and there in a very beautiful manner, and it is shedding its shine. Bhraja means shine in all directions, and that causes vibhrama. Vibhrama means happiness as well as a kind of intoxication. Brahma. That kind of intoxication, that kind of happiness, that kind of delight is caused by the shine of the eyebrow, which Ganapati is moving here and there, and he is an expert in that. Daksha means expertise. Daksha is expert. He is the master in projecting this kind of shine and causing this kind of delusion, this kind of happiness by moving his eyebrows, the creeper-like eyebrows. Marut Sundari Chamaraihi Sevyamanam. He is attended by, he is surrounded by Devaloka women. Marut Sundari is Devaloka women. Marut Sundari, Deva Sundari. Devas are classified into several categories, and one of the categories is Marut. Marut is the wind, Vayu. Vayu Devatas are called Marut Devatas. Here it generally means all Devatas. Those Devata women are attending on him and serving him with Chamara. Chamara Seva they are doing. Chamarehi Sevyamanam. The Chauri. Marut Sundari Chamarehi Sevyamanam. That kind of Ganapati, that Shivapatra, I pray to. His long arm, which is hanging, is like a creeper, and he has raised that arm, and it is a beautiful scene. And at the base of that arm is the face on which his beautiful eyebrows, he keeps moving here and there. The eyebrows are like a creeper, and the shine coming out of those eyebrows is causing delight to the extent of intoxication on the onlooker, and he is an expert in producing that kind of impression. And he is served by Devaloka women who are using chamaras to serve him. And that Ganapati, that Shivapatra, I pray to. Next. Udanchad Bhuja Vallari Drishyamulo Chaladbhrulata Vibhrama Bhrajadaksham Marut Sundari Chamare Sevyamanam Ganadhishamishana Sunum Tamide.
स्फुरन्निष्ठुरालोलपिङ्गाक्षितारम् कृपाकोमलोदारलीलावतारम् कलाबिन्दुगं गीयते योगिवर्यैर्गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
Now, further description of the form. Next shloka, we are going to the formless aspect of Ganapati. Now, up to shloka number 6, we are in the form description. Surat Nishthura Alola Pinga Akshitaram. Akshi means the eye. Tara is the pupil in the eye. Pinga means red colored. The red colored pupil in the eye, which keeps moving here and there, all over. Spurat, it is shining, it is moving and it is shining. and it is shining not in a very happy position. It is shining because he is very angry. Purat Nishthura. Nishthura means harsh, out of anger. Out of anger, the pupil of his eye is red colored and it is moving here and there and it is shining. Why he is angry and why the color is reddish brown, tawny color, that is actually pinga. Why it is so? Because he wants to show his anger toward evil people, toward evil forces. Because destruction of evil forces is necessary for establishment of dharma, isn't it? You cannot have evil forces thriving and then you simultaneously you cannot establish dharma. So for establishing dharma, evil forces have to be removed and virtuous forces have to be encouraged. So the first line is about destruction of evil forces. The second line is about encouragement of virtuous forces. Kripa Komala Udara Leela Avataram. Avataram is, as you know, incarnation. Here it means he has taken a form. The formless Parabrahman has taken a form for benefiting, for showing his anugraha on humankind. And that is the Leela Avataram. Did he make any effort for taking this avatar? No. It is a very playful, with no effort. He has come into this form. And what kind of form he has taken? Kripa Komala Udara. It is a very compassionate form, marked by compassion, marked by softness, Komala, and marked by benevolence, Udara, munificence, very munificent, very soft, very smooth, very compassionate. These are his Leelas. So that kind of Leelas he is playing in his Ganapati Avatara. So Leela can be interpreted as the plays, the sports which he is engaged in, as well as Leela Avatara. That means he has taken this Avatara sportingly without any effort. So, as you know, all these poems can be interpreted in several ways. That is the beauty, that is the expertise of the author. After all, they are all Adi Shankara Stotras. Kala Bindugam Giyate Yogi Varyaihi. By the Shrestha yogis, Yogi Shrestha, the best of yogis, Yogi Varya. By them, Giyate, he is being sung, he is being praised in song as what? As Kala Bindugam. He is at the center of all arts. Kala is arts, all knowledge. In fact, arts does not mean as opposed to science. No, it doesn't mean that. It means everything, all knowledge which is available in this world is Kala. There are 64 Kalas which are mentioned in Shastras, and they are all representations of all departments of knowledge. So all the departments of knowledge are Kala, and Bindu is the center of the knowledge. Now he is the one who is at the center of the knowledge. All knowledge emanates from him. Without him, there is no knowledge. And without his blessing, you cannot approach any knowledge. That is what the Yogi Shreshthas are thinking about. This Kalabindugam lends itself to another interpretation, that is, this Srishti, this creation, is known as Nada Bindu Kala. It starts with sound, the Omkara of the Vedas, Nada, then it goes into the Bindu state, the solid state, and that single dot expands into the universe, which is the Kala. So it is a process of creation of the universe. Now, who is the force behind this process of creation? Ganapati. After all, Parabrahman wants to create this universe, and he goes and creates with the help of Maya. That is what Vedanta says. Now, with that, Parabrahman has taken the form of Ganapati. So he is the center of all this creation, at the back of all this creation. That kind of Ganapati, that Shivaputra, I pray to. So he is having a red colored pupil of the eye which shakes, which moves here and there, shining with anger, shining with harshness, because he is looking at evil forces for destroying them, and with virtuous forces for protecting the virtuous forces. He has taken a very sporting form, avatara, and that sporting form is full of compassion, full of softness, full of beneficence. That benevolence, that kind of avatara who is encouraging all virtuous forces to come up and all evil forces to be destroyed. Now, the best of yogis are thinking about him as being at the center of all knowledge and also as being at the center of all creation. That Ganapati, that Shivaputra, I praise. स्फुरन्निष्ठुरालोलपिङ्गाक्षितारं कृपाकोमलोदारलीलावतारं कलाबिन्दुगं गीयते योगिवर्यैः गणाधीशमीशानसूनुं तमीडे.
यमेकाक्षरं निर्मलं निर्विकल्पं गुणातीतमानन्दमाकारशून्यं परं पारमोङ्कारमाम्नाय गर्भं वदन्ति प्रगल्भं पुराणं तमीडे.
Now, from the form to the formless. So far, we were meditating on the form of Ganapati with various ornaments, with various parts of his form being described. Now we are moving from the form to the formless state, the Parabrahma state, which has no form. Yam, that Ganapati, Eka Aksharam, he is unique. Why he is unique? Because he is Akshara. He is free from decay. He is free from change. He is free from destruction. In fact, the letters of the alphabet are known as Akshara because you cannot break the letter further. Ka is Ka. You cannot do anything more to that. Whereas there are Samyukta Akshara, combined letters, which can be broken into 2 or 3 letters. Whereas that they are not called Aksharas. So Akshara 51, Akaradik Shakarantam. That is why it's called Akshara. Akshar. That is another interesting background to it. The name Akshara also stems from this reasoning, starting from a ending with 51 letters. Now they are called Akshara because they cannot be broken further. Similarly, this Akshara Parabrahmam, there is a Akshara Brahma Yoga, a chapter in Bhagavad Gita. So Akshara means something which is free from decay or destruction. He is the only one. Parabrahman is the only one. All other creation is subject to change, subject to destruction. Nothing is going to remain forever. Nirmalam, he is free from all impurities. No impurity can approach him. Nirvikalpam, he is not going to change. There is no, Vikalpa is change, alternative. There is no change, there is no alternative in his state. His state is unique and it is only one, Ekam, that is the Eka Akshara. So that unique state is not going to change, free from change. Gunatitam, Guna Atitam means beyond gunas. All this creation is marked by 3 gunas, 3 characteristics, 3 qualities, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva is peace, Shanti. Rajas is activity, passion, and Tamas is either sluggishness or himsa, violence. This is the mark of Tamas. Now, all this creation, if you see, if you analyze, is marked by these 3 gunas. One of the 3 gunas will be prominent in all this creation. And in the same person, in the same human being, sometimes Sattva-guna prevails, sometimes Rajoguna prevails, sometimes Tamoguna prevails. So, but this Parabrahman is free from all the gunas because these gunas are attributes of Maya and Maya does not have any influence over him. He takes the help of Maya and does the creation. So he is beyond Maya, beyond Gunas. Gunatitam. Anandam, he is the very form of bliss. Now all the things which we think are causing happiness to us in this world are causing us, giving us only temporary happiness. All sukhas will have to end in dukkha. There is a very famous sloka in Bhagavad Gita which says that everything which gives you happiness will have to give you sorrow at the end. There is no escape from it. Whereas Parabrahman is only happiness. There is no question of dukkha there. Free from dukkha. Dukkha shonyam. That is the definition of Ananda. Akara shonyam is also free from form. Parabrahman has no form. He has taken a form out of mercy for mankind. Paramparam. Paramparam means the other side of the ocean. Param is the other side. Which ocean? The ocean of samsara. He is on the other side of the ocean of samsara. Now we are inside this ocean. We are suffering in this ocean. Now we have to get out of this ocean. And if you pray to Ganapati, he will pull you out of this ocean to the other side. That is why he is called Paramparam. Omkaram, he is the Omkara, which is the essence of all the Vedas, which is starting point of the creation. Starting point of the creation is with Omkara. And Omkara contains in itself the entire Veda, entire creation. Just the syllable Om contains everything in itself. And because Parabrahman contains everything in himself, he is equated with Omkara. Amnaya Garbham. Amnaya means Vedas. He is the essence of all the Vedas. Amnaya Garbham. All Vedas have only one aim, and that aim is to take mankind towards Parabrahman. There is no other aim. For that, they have prescribed various karmas, they have prescribed Bhakti Marga, they have prescribed Jnana Marga, etc. Now, all this, the sole purpose is to lead us to Parabrahman. Now, that Parabrahman is the essence, is at the center of the Vedas, and all the activities, all the karmas, all the paths of bhakti, all the paths of jnana are for the sole purpose of attaining the center, that is Parabrahman, and he is the essence of all the Vedas. Vadanti, Yam Vadanti, we started with Yam, that Ganapati, people say, Vadanti means say. Who say? Who is the person who is saying all this? Great souls, Vedas, all the avatars, all the great people, they say all this. What they say? All this, whatever we have seen. This is the description of Parabrahman, is endorsed by all great men. Pragalbham, further description is there. Pragalbham means he is very profound, very deep, very majestic. Gambhira. Puranam, he is very ancient, because there is nothing which can date before Parabrahman, because Parabrahman is ever present. He is not bound by limitations of time and space. Time and space are limitations for the created beings. Now, the force which is creating, that is the Parabrahman, is beyond time and space. So naturally, he is very ancient. So that Ganapati I pray to. So that Ganapati, who is free from destruction, who is unique, who is free from impurities, who is free from change, who is beyond the three gunas, he is bliss incarnate, he is free from form, he is on the other side of the ocean of samsara, he is the very form of Omkara, he is the very essence of Vedas, and great men have endorsed all these thoughts about Parabrahman, and he is very profound, very deep, and he is very ancient. That Ganapati I praise. Yamekaksharam nirmalam nirvikalpam gunatitam anandam akara shonyam paramparam omkaram amnaya garbham vadanti pragalbham puranam tamide. We stop now, it is time. If there are any questions, we will quickly address them. Any questions? Kalamalini?
There has been no questions, Mama. We shared the script of the PDF script we shared. So that is what we did. No
Okay.
doubts.
Okay. So we continue with this session in English tomorrow evening at 6:30 IST, and the Tamil session tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock as already announced. I hope to meet all of you again. All the best wishes. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva.